Alright guys, I got a problem here with voiceovers that I've been having for days, and it's taking me days to figure out what is going on here. I got some new microphones here that I've been trying to test out, and when I go to do a voiceover in Resolve, it just doesn't record. It comes out all cracked and popping, and just take a listen. Here's what it sounds like when I try to record a voiceover into DaVinci Resolve.
I arm my track to record. It's just all cracking and popping. I can hear it in the monitoring when I record. It doesn't come out good. It's all cracking, popping, echoing. It ain't working out right.
So I've been spending days trying to figure out what is going on here. I've tried all different settings. I've tried repatching. I checked the sample rates. I checked pretty much everything that I can think of. And I've had this problem since I updated from updated to DaVinci Resolve 17.4.6. And all of a sudden, on my M1 Mac Mini, I started having this problem, and I couldn't record any voiceovers unless I went back to the fixed bus setup. And I tried new buses, I tried everything. I didn't know what was going on. Finally, after days of trying different things, I figured it out. Let's jump into Resolve. I'm going to show you exactly what setting you need to change to get it to work right. And then I'm going to give you some other tips and tricks too if you're having problems with your voiceovers, trying to get the audio into Resolve, it's not working. I'm going to just show you the things that I would check in order to try and get everything going good here. So jumping into Resolve, let's check this out. So like I said, when it comes down to it, I checked sample rates, I checked everything. Here is the one setting you need to go and change. Go into DaVinci Resolve, go into Preferences. That's going to bring up your preferences here. You want to be on the system side. Come to your video and audio I/O. And this is one of the things that you definitely want to check if you're having problems. You want to make sure your input device is your microphone, right? Make sure you got the microphone selected. But what I found was when this record buffer size right here is set to 0, it doesn't work. For me, it won't record. It sounds all garbled up and like garbage, and it just doesn't record good. So all you have to do is change this. By default, in previous versions, from what I've seen, this defaults to 5. Now, I've tried every number from 1 through 8. I don't notice a difference when I'm recording, but when I change it back to 5 or 8 or whatever, a different number, then I save my settings, come back into Resolve here. I'm going to arm my track to record, throw on my headphones, and now I can hear myself just fine in the monitoring. And I'm going to mute the monitoring just so when I record here, now you're hearing right in Resolve here, it should be coming through just fine. So that should be working okay. So that record buffer is huge, and I don't know why that was causing a problem. I don't know why it changed in the latest update of DaVinci Resolve. Now, what's interesting is on my MacBook Pro, I plugged in all my microphones, tried it out, and that latency didn't change. It was fine. The update worked fine there, so I don't know what's up with that glitch, but man, it drove me nuts for days until I figured out that little setting there was preventing me from being able to record directly into Resolve. So if you're having problems, it sounds all garbled up and like junk like that, like you heard it. I mean, you heard what it sounds like. If it sounds like that, come in here, adjust that record buffer size and see if it helps. I mean, hopefully that'll help you. So that was my main issue, why I couldn't record directly into Resolve here. Now let's talk about a few other issues that you might run into if you're getting no waveforms, your audio isn't coming through, you can't find your microphone. Here are the couple things that I always tell people to check to make sure that everything is set up good so that you can record your voiceover into DaVinci Resolve. Let's jump back in Resolve, check it out. So like I already mentioned, you want to have your input device selected as your microphone, right? Make sure you got your microphone selected. Now, you want to save it, but you may need to restart Resolve because sometimes I have found that, Resolve just doesn't pick up that change, So for whatever reason, if you're not seeing your microphone, once you set it as your input device here, restart Resolve, try it again, and make sure on your system you have your computer set to use your microphone as your input. That's another huge one that I think people miss is make sure your system is set to use your microphone as your input. Make sure Resolve is set to use the microphone as your input. And then you want to go ahead and save it. And while you're here, check that record buffer size, man, because it drove me insane. I was like, what is going on? It worked fine before this. Now, you want to make sure you patch your microphone in properly. This is probably another thing that people run into issues with. Now, if you don't see it in your patch settings, restart Resolve. Sometimes you got to restart. I don't know why. I mean, generally, I don't have to, but, sometimes people do have to. So, Fairlight, come on down to patch input output, bring up your patch settings, make sure you've got audio input selected on this side. On your destination side, you want track input. Now I have a mono track, so I just have audio 1 right here. If they're not patched, it's going to look like this. It's not going to say anything, right? Definitely check both of them on, and then come on down and hit patch. Now this is gonna make sure that your microphone is patched to Resolve. Boom, they should be talking together and you should be good to go. So you can go ahead and close that window. Now you're like, hey, I don't see any meters moving. Nothing's happening. I hit record. Nothing happens. I don't know what's going on. There's no green line. What do I do? So here's what you got to do. You got to make sure you arm your track to record. So in your track, you have the R right here, record. You got to turn it on. If you don't turn it on, it ain't going to work, okay? You got to turn it on. You got to arm the track to record. Now, I've armed my track to record, and you might have noticed before you saw my meters moving, or in my other videos, you see the meters moving. You're like, hey, my meters aren't moving. What do I do? So here's why your meters aren't moving. A, you're not recording yet. But B, if we come up to the Fairlight menu, come on down to Input Monitor Style. Now, Input Monitor Style is going to tell you how do I hear or monitor my recording. So you've got options here. You can hear it only on the input. You can do it on auto, which means in my case, generally, you hear it all the time. So if I turn it on auto, I'll hear it in my headphones now. I'll hear it when I record. It'll pretty much be like constant monitoring through my microphone. You've got when you record, so only when you're recording. You've got mute, which turns it all off so you don't hear any monitoring at all. Maybe you're getting feedback from your speakers, you don't have headphones, whatever the case might be. You can use mute, and that's just going to mute everything so you don't hear any of your recording while you're recording it or even before you hit record. And then you got this last one here called Repro, and I'm going to read it to you. I never use it, but it says, while you're recording, you only hear what's been recorded, played from the track. So in other words, you're not listening to the input live, you're just reviewing what's already been recorded. So I never use that one, but it's there if you want to try that out. So by selecting one of those options, you're going to be able to hear yourself or monitor yourself or not. It's up to you. But before you even hit record, you have the option to be able to hear yourself or not. It's up to you depending on which one of these options you pick. Now, once you are ready to record, you're armed, the track is ready to go, then you're going to come up here and hit this record button right here, and it's going to be recording. Now, you might notice it looks like a flat line, right? It looks like I'm not actually recording anything, and that could be due to your input monitor settings. What did I have it at here by default? Mute, so it's muted, so I wouldn't hear anything anyway. If I come back to auto, then now you can see them there, but if I stop the recording, boom, all my waveforms are there. Everything worked out fine. No issues here. So I'll turn off my track to record,
Flat line,
play through.
right? It looks like I'm not actually
And there you go.
recording anything.
There you go. You can hear it just fine. No problems. Now, for some reason, some people run into this situation where if I play through my track here, I'm just going to mute the audio and Resolve here. But if I play through the track, we see audio 1's moving. Bus 1 meter isn't moving. What do I do? It's not moving. I can't hear anything. So what you want to do is make sure that your audio 1 track here is getting sent to your bus. In this case, for whatever reason, it's not getting sent. So go ahead and click on that plus, and we want to go bus 1. Boom. Now, if I play through, you can see both our bus 1 and our audio 1 tracks are getting our audio. We're good to go. You should be able to hear it. So here's another reason on why you might not be hearing some audio. If I have, say, 2 buses set up here, maybe you have 2 for whatever reason, and I come over here and I'm playing my audio, the bus 1 meter's moving, audio 1's moving, I don't hear nothing. What's going on? I'm getting pretty frustrated at this point. Here's what you got to do. If you have more than 1 bus going on, you want to come up by your window. I'm in Fairlight here, in case I didn't say that. I'm in Fairlight. But you come up by your viewer here, and right here you see bus 1 to auto. Well, this is telling me I want to hear the audio from bus 2. I'm sorry, it says bus 2-auto. Yeah, it helps me if I can read, right? So bus 2 auto. Now, this is what is actually coming to my headphones that I can hear. And I can't hear anything because I'm only listening to whatever's coming out of bus 2. And right now, ain't nothing coming out of bus 2. So if you click this little drop down here, you can change that back to bus 1. Now, if I play through my clip and I unmute it,
Here by default.
now I'm going to hear it coming through my headphones
so I
here.
wouldn't hear anything anyway.
No problem. But if this was on bus 2, and now that we're unmuted, and I play through it, I don't hear anything. You guys hear anything? Because I don't hear anything. What's going on? Sounds like crickets. So you can check that and make sure that this setting right here is set to what you want it to be for your audio out, so it gets sent to your headphones. So the next thing you want to think about, if you're having problems, things aren't sounding good, you've checked these things and things still aren't working out right, you get frustrated, you want to bop somebody in the nose, you know what I mean? Is you want to check your sample rates. So the sample rate of your microphone needs to match the sample rate that Resolve is set for. Now, by default, Resolve is set for 48,000 sample rate. So where do we check that? Well, come on down to your project settings. Go ahead and open that up. And under Fairlight here, we have audio sample rate right here. Now, you notice it's grayed out. I can't change it. So the thing with the sample rate is it needs to be set before you create a timeline. So when you first create your project, before you bring in anything into this project, you got to set that sample rate first. So for example, let me just cancel this. If I jump back into my edit tab, let's say I delete my timeline here. I'm just going to hit delete, bring my project settings back up. And now you see I can change that sample rate, right? From 44, 48, 96, or 192. So by default, it's 48. And if you just start bringing in media, it's going to default to 48. So make sure that your microphone is set up to be the same sample rate, so 48,000. Because if they don't match, if your microphone on your system, the sample rate doesn't match, then you're going to run into problems. It's not going to sound right. It won't play back right. So you want to check that out, but you got to set it in Resolve before you start a new timeline. So you can create your project. Obviously, I got some media in here, so it's working out okay. But you got to set that before you start your timeline or create your timeline here in Resolve. Now, I'm on a Mac here. I know most of you guys, I think, are on PC. So you're going to have to check out where you set the sample rate on the PC. But on the Mac here, I would come to, for example, my Evo 4, which is my audio interface. And right here, format, I've got different options on, how I'm going to set it. If I come to rate here, right now I'm on 48 kilohertz, 4-channel, 24-bit. And I want to make sure that, that's output. So you want to make sure the output matches as well. So I'll come back to the input. There you go, 48K. So it matches Resolve. So when I go to record, we should be good to go and you shouldn't have any problems. But if you're getting issues, that's something you definitely want to check. Check the sample rate of your microphone and make sure it matches the sample rate that you have set in DaVinci Resolve. All right, guys, so that was my huge headache for the last few days, few weeks, 2 weeks. Dude, this was driving me insane, but I hope that this is going to help one of you guys out there. When you're trying to set up your voiceovers, you can't figure it out, things aren't working, you're going crazy, like, this ain't rocket science. I mean, don't get me wrong, Resolve is difficult, but this ain't rocket science, right? So I'm glad I was able to figure this out. Hopefully it's going to help out some of you guys out there trying to record your voiceovers with these various issues that we might run into from time to time. So if this video was a little bit helpful, just a little bit, guys, give this video a thumbs up for me. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Stay tuned because I've got lots of microphones I'm checking out, we're trying out, and you guys might even be winning some. So stay tuned. And with that said, guys, wrapping this one up, I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Be well. We'll see you. Peace.